The image is jarring and inexplicable. A young athlete, someone in the prime of life with obvious physical fitness, collapsing during a cold weather training run or game. These events generate headlines and confusion because they violate our assumptions. We think cardiovascular fitness protects against heart problems. We think youth confers invulnerability. Both assumptions are incomplete, and understanding why athletes can be vulnerable to cold weather cardiovascular events requires examining how elite athletic conditioning creates its own unique set of risks. Athletic hearts are different from sedentary hearts. Years of intense training cause cardiac remodeling, changes in heart size, wall thickness, and chamber dimensions. These changes are generally beneficial and adaptive, allowing the heart to pump more blood with each beat and sustain high cardiac outputs during competition. But this remodeling exists on a spectrum. At the beneficial end, you have normal athlete's heart. At the problematic end, you have pathological conditions like hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, where abnormal thickening of heart muscle impairs function and increases risk of sudden death. The challenge is that these conditions can look similar on basic screening. Athletes often have resting bradycardia, slow heart rates sometimes in the 40s or low 50s beats per minute. This is efficient for steady-state activity, but can create vulnerability during the acute stress of cold exposure. The intense vasoconstriction that cold triggers may stress a large, slow-beating heart differently than a smaller, faster heart. Additionally, athletes may have slightly abnormal electrical patterns on electrocardiograms that are benign in most circumstances, but could predispose to arrhythmias under extreme stress. Intense training depletes glycogen stores and can create relative dehydration. Athletes training hard in winter often underestimate fluid needs for the same reasons we discussed earlier: lack of sweat visibility and reduced thirst. An athlete beginning a cold weather workout in a glycogen-depleted, relatively dehydrated state starts with compromised reserves. When you add the cardiovascular stress of cold exposure and high-intensity effort, the margin for error becomes very small. Performance pressure creates another risk factor unique to athletes. The culture of pushing through discomfort, of never showing weakness, means athletes may ignore or minimize symptoms that should stop them immediately. Chest tightness, unusual shortness of breath, dizziness, these warning signs get rationalized as just being out of shape or not trying hard enough. Coaches and teammates reinforce this mindset. The result is that an athlete experiencing early signs of a cardiac event keeps pushing, turning a potentially survivable warning into a catastrophe. Undiagnosed congenital conditions remain the elephant in the room. Long QT syndrome, abnormal coronary artery origins, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. These conditions may cause no symptoms during routine life and only manifest under extreme stress. Standard pre-participation physical exams often miss these conditions because they rely on history, basic examination, and sometimes electrocardiograms, which can appear normal or show ambiguous findings. More sophisticated screening with echocardiography or exercise testing could catch many of these conditions, but cost and logistics make universal comprehensive screening challenging. What needs to change? Athletic organizations should implement cold-specific modifications for training and competition. This includes intensity adjustments based on temperature, mandatory warm-up protocols that are extended in cold weather, and hydration requirements that account for invisible winter fluid losses. Coaches need education about cardiac warning signs and the authority to pull athletes who show symptoms, overriding the athlete's protests. Pre-participation screening should be enhanced for athletes in cold climates or winter sports, potentially including echocardiography for those with concerning history or examination findings. Athletes themselves need to understand that their fitness is protective but not absolute, and that cold weather changes their physiology in ways that create unique risks requiring respect and caution.